Toyota screwed car buyers and now they're paying the price. Have you heard recently what's been going on over at Toyota headquarters? I mean, there was a time when customers like myself, we bought this late model 2021 Toyota Camry because we had trust and faith in the brand. We still trust and enjoy this car because here we have the naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4. It's coupled up to an 8-speed auto. It's basically their old recipe for success. You can also get the 3.5 liter V6, which a lot of people love. They also had that wonderful 5.7 that you could find in the Tundra, as well as 4.6s in some of the Lexus vehicles. Now, Toyota's had some struggles lately. They've gone and changed some of their engine configurations and designs. And that's where this story gets interesting. Please do drop a line at any point if you want to drop or ask any questions or have any theories as to this whole conversation. Have you heard the story where the 5.7 liter V8 naturally aspirated engine that came from the Toyota Tundra, you also found it in the Sequoia, as well as many Lexus models, for example, the LX 570, all featured that engine. It was a tried and true ultra reliable drivetrain, and people trusted it for years to last hundreds of thousands of miles. And Toyota have gone and changed up that engine. Gone are that 5.7 liter V8, and in comes this 3.4 liter twin turbo V6. It's a brand new engine, reconfigured, great performance, and absolutely outperforms and outdoes the outgoing 5.7 in every way except reliability. But it doesn't begin and end with this new twin turbo V6. Have you also heard about that turbocharged 300 horsepower Corolla GR? Yes, there's been 2 failures there now as well, and there's been a multitude of failures of owners of the new Tundra as well as Lexus vehicles in the LX 600. Let's talk about that because it does bring to question, have they messed up reliability? Have they gone and essentially eliminated anything that resembled durability? And now have they left the customers out to dry with a new product that leaves everybody scratching their head and wondering, is this the new Toyota? Customers have grown to love and as well trust the reputation of Toyota as a whole. And while no manufacturer is perfect, they've created a lot of long-lasting, durable, and ultra-reliable vehicles like this one here. And that's why, a big reason why we absolutely went out and bought this, because we had faith. We knew the reputation was there, and Toyota was building some high-quality vehicles that were known to last a long time. Maintenance costs were relatively low too. And it seemed like dealing with the dealer network was mainstream. It wasn't exceptional, but they did what they had to do. Now, unfortunately, engines like this are going away, and Toyota and Lexus are now adopting the new way. Like many manufacturers, turbocharging seems to be the flavor. Smaller direct injected engines, throw a turbo on it, you can create more power with smaller displacement. Honda did that a few years ago with the 1.5 Turbo 4, and now they're feeling the burn with oil and fuel dilution issues. Now, Toyota is also struggling. Everybody laughed at BMW back in 2007 when they introduced twin turbocharging to their 3 Series BMW, and they had a multitude of problems. Well, a decade later, BMW's worked through that, carved their way, and while they're not perfect, they've come vastly better in terms of overall reliability. But now, is it Toyota's turn to try to figure out this puzzle? Because along replacing this 5.7 liter V8, now comes this twin turbo 3.4 liter V6. And now, as a result of a lot of questions, a lot of comments, the forums have been spitting out a lot of assumptions. A lot of customers initially taking their vehicles in when their engine stopped. A lot of results of, check engine lights, weird engine noises, strange sounds, drivability issues, or straight-out catastrophic failures. The engine wouldn't turn over. Are all some of the symptoms that a lot of customers were experiencing with this new turbo V6 engine. And so they'd go into the dealership, and initially, Toyota allegedly didn't have the solution. It took some time to get down to the bottom of this. Allegedly, there was conversations and questions like, are you doing oil services on time? Do we need to tighten up the service interval? What type of oil manufacturing grade are you using? We got to make sure we're following specifications. What about knocking, pinging? Detonation can blow holes in piston crowns. Are you using the right type of fuel? Because that can contribute to blown holes in engines and catastrophic failures. These were all questions that were thrown at owners of a lot of these early generation and early adopters of these Tundras with the 3.4s. But a lot of customers were left scratching their heads, not sure what to make of this. This on top of the fact that some of the early generation Tundras also had those wastegate issues. So we know that Tundras have had a multitude of different issues. But now as time goes on, it feels as though Toyota's finally flushed out the issues. They figured out what some of the challenges are, and allegedly it appears to be a result of improper cleaning within the case of the engine. That's right, after the machining manufacturing process, you always have a little particulate, little aluminum materials, a little bit bearing material, a little materials, metal that seems to wind up in there. A little bit of steel from the crank, a little bit of material as well from the case. As they're machining, if it wasn't getting flushed out properly, they put the engine together, fill it up with oil, and drive it away. Some of that particulate was winding up in the main bearings. That's right, the crankshaft bearings. Getting into there, certain sizes would seize up and of course lead to catastrophic engine failure. After several replacements, customers were starting to learn there's something more underlying here. This is an issue. And about 102,000 customers are now said to be getting their entire engines replaced. Compliments San Toyota and Lexus, because we're talking about, of course, the vehicles in question are the Toyota Tundra with the 5.7, as well as the newly designed Lexus LX 600. And we don't want to forget the GX 550 also carries that same new 3.4 liter. So time will tell on durability of that engine as well. But things are changing and there have been some struggles. Now, at least Toyota's taking some ownership, but it's not after serious amount of hardship and aches and pains, inconveniences that a lot of customers have gone through to get to this point. Not to mention that to get all these engines swapped out now is going to take some time. Serious time. And another new engine for the manufacturer is that beautiful little 1.6 liter turbo 3-cylinder engine that you find shoehorned into that GR Corolla. You know, that little hot rod hatchback with a 6-speed manual gearbox and allegedly 8-speed auto coming out for next year with some revised and enhanced front spoiler action. It promises to be a lot of fun, and there's no question, even with these cars when they sell them, Toyota offers up a track package day, a track day, to go and exploit the performance of that vehicle on a racetrack at your discretion and your own safety precautions. But unfortunately, what's happened with this latest GR Corolla, there's not one, there's two situations where they've catastrophically burned by the side of the road. Yes, that's right, two of them. The first one is a gentleman named Brian. He took his car out, didn't have a lot of miles on it. He decided to take it out for a drive, and he was a little zealous, certainly driving it, enjoying it in its capacity. And at one point, the vehicle literally decided to combust. Now, took it into the shop, got it all fixed up. Insurance paid the vast majority of it, but he was seeking out Toyota's assistance to pick up the remaining of the warranty coverage. To his unfortunate observation, Toyota rejected his claim for insurance. He said it was a catastrophic engine failure. Well, upon further investigation, Toyota alleges that they saw on the traceback file that he actually had exceeded 85 miles per hour. As a matter of fact, it was over 114 miles per hour. But he simply asked the question, how do you know when that happened? I don't recall doing that. And even with the track day as part of the package, it doesn't seem to matter, because Toyota's excuse was you've exceeded the tire's capacity for speed rating, and therefore it makes it very dangerous to drive at that speed. Seems kind of weird, doesn't it, if it's rated for that? Interestingly enough, Brian also claims that 2 weeks prior to that, he actually had a situation where he had a bit of a misfire. Turned the car off, turned it back on, it fixed itself. He took it into the dealer, and they claim that they could not find anything wrong, other than could have been possibly pumped up with too much octane boost, and that could have had a negative impact on its driving condition. But it certainly left Brian wondering, And then this summer, we had another owner of a GR Corolla named Sebastian, who was driving his car through the desert, and unfortunately, after a series of weird lights ringing on the dashboard, the vehicle basically came to a start, started to ignite, pulled over, and the vehicle more or less burned entirely on the roadside. Now, unfortunately for Sebastian, he had a gap in insurance, and now he is out of luck. Further interesting news though, Sebastian and Brian met up on a forum after the fact, had some conversations, and their service writers, or the people that were dealing with their claims, was the same person. And so it begs the question, Was there a copy and paste or a bit of a clerical administrative error on the claim request? Are both of these vehicles rejected from warranty? And what do you think those two gentlemen are feeling right now as an end result and left hanging without coverage on their brand new cars? So with all these sad state of affairs, it still keeps people wondering, is Toyota the ultimate reliable brand that they've always known and loved? Well, the bottom line is, between the Toyota Tacoma having brake issues and hub issues, as well as seeing drivability problems with that new 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine, as well, we can't forget about those obvious issues with the Tundras and the 3.6s. Toyota's had some struggles lately. And then on top of it, the latest news about not necessarily having the correct test results on crash testing of some of their vehicles previously leaves people wonder, is this the car brand that I want to associate? I mean, we personally own this Toyota. We trust it. We love it. It's very reliable. It's fuel efficient. And even to do maintenance on it, we got a Service B here done this week, which is an oil service, filters, and all kinds of extra checks and balances for a mere couple $100, and we felt we got a great deal. So it's a brand that is affordable to own, affordable to operate. We have trust in this particular model, but does the next generation of Toyota instill the same level of trust that we've known to love in the older variations? Time will tell, everybody. I'd love to hear your thoughts down there. What do you think of those stories of the GR Corollas? Do you think there's something interesting about that? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you in fact trust Toyota and Lexus as a brand? I mean, currently the older generation vehicles, they're awesome. The new stuff, time will tell. You definitely want to check that video there though, because I share some of the newest vehicles, how they won't last a candle to some of the older versions of the same vehicle. Definitely want to see that. Hope to see each and every one in the next one. See you real soon. Bye-bye.